Hello and welcome to the internet. It's Andrew from Party Meeple, and normally you'd hear me talk about a board game of some sort. But once upon a time, we role-played, my friends and I. You may have heard of Dungeons and Dragons. Well, I've had a couple of sessions of that when I was, in my early 20s. But the game we played most of all was Traveller, where you're a bunch of adventurers in the far future, trying not to die in space. Actually, pretty much all of our Traveller role-playing ended up basically being combat situation. Instead of killing the monsters, we're always killing the bad pirates, or maybe we were the bad pirates. I don't know. It depended on the evening, and it was a long time ago. I haven't done any role-playing in probably 40 years. But I thought it would be a good time to talk about it now because it is actually a very popular genre of gaming. So let me explain. Let me give you an example. You're the leader of a great nation. Hundreds of millions of people, maybe 150 million people. Your nation isn't the greatest on the planet. It's probably about 6th or 7th, maybe 10th, depending on which metric you use to measure it. And you're a very popular leader. So let's talk a bit of history. That will allow us to give some context to the current situation you are in. Some considerable time ago, a previous leader of your nation invited a lot of other nations in the area to form a military collaboration to protect themselves from the tentacles of Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan is very good at subjugating other nations, putting military bases everywhere. It's not above doing a little invasion here or a little invasion there just to assert itself so that people know who's boss. And this alliance made your nation Kazakhstan's enemy number one. In fact, your alliance was actually a response to Kazakhstan's own alliance, which happened a little while earlier, aimed specifically at taking you down. So now that Kazakhstan is busy cuddling up to your neighbour, what are you going to do about it? Some time ago there was a referendum in your neighbour Grania about whether they should become part of Kazakhstan's military alliance. And it was overruled quite overwhelmingly by about 2/3 of the population. And since then, Kazakhstan has spent nearly 5 billion credits trying to sway the population into thinking otherwise. Kazakhstan has one of the best propaganda systems. In fact, your propaganda system looks like tin pot clockwork by comparison. So here's your thing. The biggest nation on your planet wants to buddy up with your next door neighbour trading partner and also have them as part of a military alliance which is aimed at pressuring you. You're now in charge. Your people are behind you, mainly. What are you going to do? So there's a few things you can do actually. Maybe you could pour a bunch of money into Grania, get their leaders on side under your wing, use Kazakhstan's playbook. Maybe you could just do nothing and it won't matter. Anyway, I'm interested to hear what you were going to do as leader of Laboria. It's a great nation. But its sun is setting, and you're the steward in charge of that setting sun. It's there for you to fix or fail. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. Please subscribe or leave a like if you're interested in the sort of content I do, normally about this sort of stuff, fair bit of stuff about print and play. Occasionally I write a song about a board game. Check out the playlist for that. And if you'd like to support the little Party Meeple enterprise that is this, drop by the Party Meeple website and look at some of the little games I sell. As a person in Australia on TV used to say ages ago, they're not fancy, but they're cheap. and postage is free in Australia.